In a busy city, there was an old office building that had definitely seen better days. It stood out among the shiny new buildings, showing signs of wear and tear. This building had a reputation for its strange elevator. It often stopped between floors, and the lights would flicker like something was wrong. Despite the warnings, employees had no choice but to use it to reach their offices high up. One rainy evening, Jake, one of the office employees, was working late, trying to wrap up a big project for an important meeting the next day. When the clock hit 7, he decided it was finally time to head home. He gathered his things and made his way to the elevator, feeling completely drained. The building was quiet, with only the sound of rain tapping against the windows. He pressed the button for the ground floor, and the doors creaked open slowly. Jake stepped inside, and the air felt thick and heavy, almost like it was wrapping around him. He pressed the button and the doors closed with a dull thud. As the elevator started its descent, the lights flickered, sending a chill down his spine. He told himself it was just the old elevator acting up. Jake stared at the glowing numbers above the elevator door, watching them count down as he went down. Out of nowhere, the elevator jolted to a stop between the 5th and 6th floors. His heart raced as the lights flickered again, plunging the small space into darkness for a moment. He started pressing the buttons in a panic, but nothing happened. Realizing he was stuck, panic began to creep in. He took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. When he pulled out his phone, he saw there was no signal at all. He was completely alone. As the hours passed, Jake started to feel the weight of time. He could hear the rain pounding against the building, and the sound made him feel even more trapped. He sat down on the floor, trying to think of a way to get out. But as he sat there, he began to notice strange things happening. The air felt colder, and he thought he heard whispers echoing in the small space. At first, he brushed it off as his imagination, but then he heard a soft jiggle. Jake's heart raced again. "Hello?" he called out, but there was no answer. Just the sound of his voice bouncing back at him. He felt a chill creep up his spine. He was alone, yet he felt like someone was watching him. The lights flickered again, and Jake saw a shadow move in the corner of his eye. He turned quickly, but nothing was there. He tried to convince himself it was just the flickering lights playing tricks on him. But deep down, he felt a growing sense of dread. He was stuck in this elevator, and something was not right. As the night turned into morning, Jake's mind started to play tricks on him. He could hear the whispers more clearly now, like a group of people talking just outside the elevator. He pressed the emergency button, but it only buzzed quietly, offering no help. He felt hopeless and scared. Hours passed and he was starting to lose track of time. He felt like he had been in there forever. Then the lights flickered one last time before going out completely. Jake was plunged into darkness. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest as he tried to calm himself. "It's just a power outage," he whispered to himself. But he didn't believe it. The whispers grew louder, and he could hear faint laughter echoing around him. It felt like he wasn't alone after all. Suddenly, the emergency light flickered on, casting a dim glow around the elevator. Jake looked around, and to his horror, he saw a figure standing in the corner. It was a girl, her face pale and her eyes wide with fear. She looked just as scared as he felt. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the sound of the rain. Jake's heart raced. Who are you?" he asked, his voice shaking. But the girl didn't answer. Instead, she pointed toward the elevator doors, her eyes filled with terror. Jake felt a surge of fear wash over him. He realized he wasn't just stuck. He was trapped with something he couldn't understand. For the next few hours, Jake and the girl sat in silence, the whispers surrounding them. They could hear the sound of rain outside, but it felt like they were in a different world. The elevator was a prison, and time seemed to stretch endlessly. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the elevator jolted back to life. The doors opened slowly, and bright light flooded in. Jake blinked, squinting against the brightness. He looked around, but the girl was gone. Had she been real, or just a figment of his imagination? Jake stepped out into the hallway, feeling a mix of relief and confusion. He had been stuck in the elevator for 40 hours. As he walked away, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed inside him. The experience had left a mark.